Men, if you want a woman to feel drawn to you on a deep, almost magnetic level, it's not about flashy gestures, money, or trying to impress her with constant attention. Female psychology is clear. True obsession comes from emotional engagement, perceived value, and subtle influence over her attention and desires. Women are wired to notice confidence, mystery, and men who create emotional contrast, not men who are always available, predictable, or overly eager. In modern dating, many men make the mistake of over-investing early. They send too many texts, agree to every plan, and try to force connection. This behavior almost always lowers attraction. Obsession is not created by chasing. It is created by sparking curiosity, demonstrating high value, and allowing a woman to invest in the connection emotionally and psychologically. The goal is not manipulation. It's creating an environment where she genuinely wants to think about you, notice you, and prioritize your presence in her life. This video will break down 7 principles that, when applied correctly, naturally increase a woman's attraction and desire. Each principle is rooted in female psychology and focuses on behavioral strategies and mindset shifts that position you as irresistible. From emotional contrast to scarcity, attention patterns to playful teasing, these methods work because they engage fundamental human instincts: curiosity, respect, and emotional investment. Pay attention to these strategies. They are not about pretending to be someone you're not. They are about emphasizing your best traits, creating healthy boundaries, and allowing attraction to grow organically. When applied consistently, these principles make a woman think about you, even when you're not around, feel excitement when she interacts with you, and build a sense of anticipation and emotional dependency that keeps her engaged. The key is balance. Overdoing these strategies can come across as manipulation. Underdoing them results in being overlooked. Understanding timing, context, and emotional nuance is essential. By mastering these principles, you position yourself as a man who naturally commands attention, respect, and desire without chasing, begging, or compromising self-respect. 1. Create emotional contrast. Men, the first and arguably most powerful way to make a woman obsessed with you is to create emotional contrast. Female psychology demonstrates that women are intensely attracted to men who can make them feel a range of emotions, particularly when those emotions alternate between intrigue, challenge, and excitement. Emotional contrast is not about being cruel or unpredictable. It's about balancing warmth, connection, and playful challenge to engage her on multiple levels. Many men make the mistake of being overly consistent, predictable, or available. They think that being agreeable at all times or always meeting her expectations will make her like them more. The reality is the opposite. Women are wired to respond to men who can elicit curiosity and anticipation. For example, one day you might be fully attentive and engaging, sharing stories and laughter, and the next day you are more reserved, focused on your goals or hobbies. This contrast creates psychological tension, which naturally draws her in and makes her think about you more. Behaviorally, emotional contrast can be applied in simple ways. Teasing playfully, showing passion about your own interests, maintaining independence, or briefly withdrawing attention to create space. When a woman experiences these shifts, she begins to invest emotionally, wondering why your energy is different, what you're thinking, or how she can maintain your attention. This investment is key. Attraction grows when she feels she has to engage actively rather than passively receive your attention. It's important to understand the balance. Too much contrast, such as being cold or distant for extended periods, can push her away. Too little contrast makes interactions predictable and boring. The goal is to create subtle fluctuations in attention, mood, and engagement that encourage her to think about you even when you're not present. Women are wired to notice these patterns subconsciously and become intrigued, which deepens emotional attachment. From a psychological perspective, emotional contrast taps into a woman's instinctual attraction to challenge, novelty, and emotional engagement. It triggers curiosity and desire because it is unpredictable yet safe. A man who is confident, emotionally independent, and capable of connection simultaneously. Men who master this principle do not need to manipulate or overthink interactions. They simply embody these qualities naturally, making women more likely to focus attention and emotional energy on them. In short, creating emotional contrast is about blending warmth, mystery, and independence in a way that keeps a woman intrigued and invested. By applying this consistently, you stimulate her emotions, increase her desire, and lay the foundation for obsession. It is one of the most powerful tools in female psychology for making a woman think about you constantly, feel excitement in your presence, and develop an emotional attachment that grows over time. 2. Maintain high value and independence. Men, the second principle to making a woman obsessed with you is to maintain high value and demonstrate independence. Female psychology shows that women are drawn to men who have their own lives, goals, and standards. When a man is fully invested in his personal growth, career, social circle, or hobbies, he signals that he is a complete person who is not reliant on her for validation or happiness. This independence is magnetic because it communicates confidence, self-respect, and high social value. All traits that naturally trigger attraction and obsession. Many men fall into the trap of being overly available, accommodating, or dependent on a woman's attention. They may drop everything to respond to her messages, change plans to suit her schedule, or let her priorities dominate their own. This behavior signals low value, neediness, and a lack of self-respect. Women are instinctively drawn to men who are emotionally and socially independent because it creates psychological tension and positions the man as a prize rather than a servant. High-value men, on the other hand, do not apologize for maintaining their boundaries. They pursue personal goals, nurture friendships, and engage in hobbies and activities that bring them fulfillment. This demonstrates that their life is full and abundant, which naturally increases a woman's desire. Independence is not just about being busy. It is about showing that your emotional and social world is complete, and her attention is a privilege, not a necessity. Behaviorally, independence can be expressed in several ways. You might decline an invitation to spend time together if you are engaged in something meaningful, prioritize personal projects, or spend quality time with friends without her. Maintaining your own interests communicates that you are a man of substance, which is irresistibly attractive to women. Conversely, men who are constantly at a woman's beck and call create predictability and lower attraction, making her more likely to take the connection for granted. Psychologically, women are wired to value men who have options, purpose, and autonomy. Independence taps into evolutionary instincts, signaling that a man is capable, competent, and confident. When a woman senses that you are secure in yourself, she is more likely to invest her emotional energy, think about you in your absence, and develop deeper attachment. The balance is crucial. You remain present and engaging without losing yourself in her world, ensuring that her attention is earned rather than demanded. In short, maintaining high value and independence is about cultivating a life that is rich, purposeful, and fulfilling outside of the relationship. It creates scarcity in a subtle way, increases perceived value, and naturally drives obsession. Women instinctively notice men who do not chase validation and instead prioritize their own growth and happiness. By embodying this principle, you position yourself as a man who is desirable, respected, and difficult to ignore, qualities that are the foundation of emotional obsession. 3. Be unpredictable in positive ways. Men, the third principle to making a woman obsessed with you is to be unpredictable, but in positive, intriguing ways. Female psychology shows that women are drawn to men who can stimulate curiosity and excitement rather than men who are entirely predictable or routine. Unpredictability doesn't mean instability or erratic behavior. It means creating experiences, moods, and interactions that surprise her in ways that generate interest and emotional engagement. Many men make the mistake of being overly predictable in dating. They follow the same patterns, respond exactly the same way every time, and offer no variation in energy or behavior. While consistency is important for reliability, too much predictability creates boredom. Women are naturally drawn to men who can mix reliability with an element of surprise. Someone who can make them laugh unexpectedly, propose spontaneous plans, or show a side of themselves that is intriguing and different from day to day. Behaviorally, positive unpredictability can take several forms. It might involve sending a playful or teasing message she doesn't expect, planning an unexpected fun activity, sharing a story that reveals a hidden talent or unique experience, or changing your energy in a conversation to create emotional contrast. These subtle shifts stimulate her mind and emotions, triggering curiosity and engagement. She begins to think about you between interactions because she anticipates what you might do next or how you will respond. It's important to understand the balance between unpredictability and stability. Being entirely unpredictable, inconsistent, or unreliable destroys trust and lowers perceived value. The goal is to be fascinating and dynamic while maintaining your integrity and confidence. Women are drawn to men who are interesting, capable of spontaneity, and able to keep life exciting without being manipulative or reckless. Psychologically, unpredictability works because it taps into the human brain's reward system. When a woman experiences novel or unexpected behavior, dopamine is released, creating feelings of excitement and anticipation. Over time, repeated positive unpredictability increases emotional investment as she begins to seek interactions that are stimulating, enjoyable, and mentally engaging. She starts thinking about you when you're not present, imagining new interactions and experiences with you, which is the foundation of obsession. In short, being positively unpredictable is about creating novelty, intrigue, and excitement while maintaining your high-value traits and emotional stability. It stimulates curiosity, fosters emotional investment, and makes her mentally and emotionally engaged, even when you're absent. Men who master this principle combine stability with occasional surprises, creating a powerful psychological pull that makes women think about them constantly, anticipate their presence, and develop deeper emotional attachment. 4. Display confidence without arrogance. Men, the fourth principle to make a woman obsessed with you is to display unwavering confidence without tipping into arrogance. Female psychology shows that women are naturally attracted to men who are self-assured, decisive, and emotionally secure. Confidence signals competence, independence, and stability, all of which are highly appealing traits. However, there is a fine line. Confidence must be balanced with humility and approachability, because arrogance or overbearing behavior triggers resistance rather than attraction. Many men confuse confidence with overconfidence. They attempt to dominate conversations, boast excessively, or act superior to others, thinking it will impress a woman. In reality, arrogance is a major turn-off because it communicates insecurity masked as dominance. True confidence, on the other hand, is calm, consistent, and internally driven. It does not require validation or constant approval from others, including women. This type of confidence draws women in because it feels natural, safe, and magnetic at the same time. Behaviorally, confident men carry themselves with poise. They maintain eye contact, speak clearly, make decisions without hesitation, and accept themselves fully, flaws included. They set boundaries without guilt, handle rejection gracefully, and maintain composure in social situations. Confidence also manifests in action, pursuing personal goals, excelling in career or hobbies, and being proactive in life. Women observe these behaviors subconsciously, which heightens attraction and fosters emotional investment. Confidence without arrogance also involves restraint. It's about letting your actions and presence communicate value rather than over-explaining or seeking approval. For example, you might share a personal story that reveals competence or skill without bragging, or express opinions assertively while remaining open to her perspective. This combination creates psychological pull. She respects you, is intrigued by you, and naturally invests her attention and energy in your presence. Psychologically, women are wired to respond to men who demonstrate emotional security and self-sufficiency. Confidence signals that you are not reliant on her attention for validation, which paradoxically makes her want to give it more freely. Arrogance, on the other hand, triggers resistance and lowers emotional engagement. Mastering this balance makes a woman think about you constantly, admire your qualities, and feel compelled to seek your presence without pressure. In short, displaying confidence without arrogance is about embodying self-assuredness, competence, and emotional stability while remaining approachable and respectful. It creates a magnetic presence, fosters curiosity, and encourages a woman to invest emotionally in you. When combined with emotional contrast, independence, and unpredictability, confidence becomes a cornerstone for generating deep, obsessive attraction. High-value men naturally draw women in because they operate from self-respect, not neediness, which is the foundation of long-term desire and obsession. 5. Use subtle scarcity men. The fifth principle to make a woman obsessed with you is to use subtle scarcity. Female psychology shows that people, women included, value what feels limited or hard to obtain. When a man is always available, always responding immediately, or constantly giving attention without boundaries, he signals low value. Conversely, creating subtle scarcity communicates that your time, energy, and attention are precious, which increases desire and emotional investment. Many men misunderstand scarcity and confuse it with playing hard to get in a manipulative way. True scarcity is not about being cold, rude, or ignoring her arbitrarily. It's about living a full, independent life where your attention is naturally limited. Women are naturally drawn to men who are busy, focused, and in demand because it demonstrates confidence, competence, and self-respect. Scarcity makes interactions feel more valuable, turning ordinary moments into meaningful, memorable experiences. Behaviorally, subtle scarcity can be expressed in several ways. You may delay responses moderately to avoid seeming overly available, decline casual invitations that conflict with personal priorities, or limit the time spent on repetitive or low-quality interactions. These actions signal that your attention is earned, not guaranteed. A woman notices this subconsciously and begins to invest more effort, energy, and thought into maintaining your interest, which is the core of emotional obsession. Importantly, scarcity must be genuine, not forced. Women are quick to detect artificial scarcity or manipulative tactics, which can reduce trust and attraction. The key is to cultivate your life in such a way that your time is naturally valuable, pursuing goals, nurturing friendships, and engaging in meaningful activities. This creates authentic scarcity, as your attention is inherently limited by your commitments and standards. Psychologically, scarcity taps into the principle of perceived value. When your presence is not constantly available, it increases anticipation, curiosity, and emotional engagement. Women begin to think about you when you're not around, wondering what you're doing, who you're interacting with, and how they can earn your attention. This mental investment fuels obsession without the need for overt manipulation or pressure. In short, subtle scarcity is about demonstrating that your time and energy are valuable while remaining high value and emotionally stable. It encourages a woman to invest her own attention and emotional energy into the connection, creating natural desire and curiosity. Combined with emotional contrast, independence, unpredictability, and confidence, scarcity is a powerful psychological tool that increases attraction and fosters deep emotional attachment. High-value men understand that scarcity is not a trick. It's a reflection of living a full, intentional life that naturally makes women think about them constantly and crave their presence. 6. Make her invest emotionally. Men, the sixth principle to make a woman obsessed with you is to encourage her emotional investment. Female psychology reveals a simple truth. People, especially women, value what they invest in. When a woman pours attention, energy, or emotion into a connection, she becomes psychologically attached. Obsession is not just about attraction, it's about creating an environment where she wants to think about you, talk about you, and prioritize you, because she feels her investment matters. Many men make the mistake of doing everything for a woman, planning every date, initiating every conversation, or solving her problems without her involvement. While this may seem caring, it reduces her sense of agency and diminishes emotional attachment. Women are wired to feel more drawn to men when they contribute to the dynamic, whether through shared experiences, playful challenges, or co-creating moments. When she invests, she feels a sense of ownership and deeper emotional connection. Behaviorally, creating emotional investment can take subtle forms. You might encourage her opinions in decisions, invite her input on plans, or challenge her playfully to share her thoughts and feelings. Let her contribute to the energy of the interaction rather than making it one-sided. Even small gestures, asking her advice, letting her take initiative in planning, or teasing her in a fun way, signal that her participation matters, which naturally increases attachment. This principle also applies to time and attention. If a woman chooses to spend her time with you voluntarily, invests in meaningful conversation, or goes out of her way to engage with you, she is building emotional equity in the connection. High-value men recognize this and resist the urge to overcompensate or take her effort for granted. By allowing her to invest, you create psychological leverage that fosters curiosity, anticipation, and desire. Psychologically, emotional investment works because it engages the principle of commitment and consistency. When she contributes emotionally, her brain justifies the effort by valuing the relationship more. She begins to think about you between interactions, reflect on shared experiences, and anticipate future moments together. This internalization fuels obsession in a natural and healthy way. In short, making a woman invest emotionally is about creating balance and mutual participation in the connection. It is not manipulation. It is about encouraging engagement, allowing her to contribute, and making her feel that her attention and energy matter. When combined with emotional contrast, independence, unpredictability, confidence, and subtle scarcity, this principle dramatically increases her desire, attachment, and mental focus on you. High-value men understand that attraction grows when a woman is an active participant rather than a passive observer. And mastering this principle is key to fostering deep emotional obsession. 7. Be mysterious and maintain some privacy. Men, the seventh and final principle to make a woman obsessed with you is to cultivate mystery and maintain some personal privacy. Female psychology shows that women are naturally intrigued by men who are not entirely transparent or predictable. Mystery creates curiosity, anticipation, and mental engagement. When a woman doesn't know everything about you immediately, her mind begins to fill in the gaps, think about you, and invest emotionally in uncovering more. This is a cornerstone of attraction and obsession. Many men make the mistake of oversharing early, revealing every detail of their life, past relationships, and inner thoughts too quickly. While openness is important, excessive transparency diminishes intrigue. Women are more drawn to men who maintain an element of the unknown, who have experiences, ambitions, and emotions that are revealed gradually. This selective sharing creates psychological tension, keeping her attention and thoughts focused on you even when you're not present. Behaviorally, mystery can be expressed in subtle ways. You might share stories selectively, hint at experiences without giving full details, or discuss your goals and passions without over-explaining. You can also maintain aspects of your social life, hobbies, and routines privately, which signals independence and self-sufficiency. When a woman senses that there is more to learn about you, her curiosity grows, and she becomes more invested emotionally and mentally. It's important to balance mystery with connection. Being too secretive or emotionally unavailable can backfire, creating frustration rather than intrigue. High-value men are both accessible and compelling. They reveal enough to create trust and engagement, but hold back enough to sustain curiosity and desire. This balance signals confidence, independence, and depth, which are highly attractive traits. Psychologically, mystery taps into the brain's natural desire for novelty and problem-solving. When a woman encounters a man who is intriguing but not fully known, she begins to analyze his behavior, anticipate his actions, and wonder about his thoughts and feelings. This mental engagement increases her emotional investment and encourages obsession because she feels compelled to understand and connect with you on a deeper level. In short, being mysterious and maintaining privacy is about creating intrigue, fostering curiosity, and encouraging emotional and mental investment. When combined with emotional contrast, independence, unpredictability, confidence, subtle scarcity, and encouraging her investment, mystery completes the formula for making a woman obsessed. High-value men understand that attraction is not forced. It is cultivated by creating a presence that is magnetic, emotionally stimulating, and mentally engaging, ensuring that she thinks about you constantly and feels a strong desire to connect. Men, the 7 principles we've covered: creating emotional contrast, maintaining high value and independence, being positively unpredictable, displaying confidence without arrogance, using subtle scarcity, encouraging her emotional investment, and cultivating mystery, are the foundation for making a woman obsessed with you. Female psychology shows that attraction and obsession are not about manipulation, money, or over-attention. They are about creating emotional engagement, perceived value, and curiosity that keeps her thinking about you even when you're not present. Many men make the mistake of over-investing, over-explaining, or chasing validation. This behavior lowers attraction because it signals neediness and scarcity rather than confidence and high value. Women are instinctively drawn to men who are emotionally secure, self-sufficient, and capable of creating meaningful experiences. When a man balances attention with independence, emotional engagement with unpredictability, and openness with mystery, he naturally becomes magnetic. Obsession is a byproduct of these behaviors, not the goal itself. High-value men recognize that attraction flows from alignment, curiosity, and emotional investment. They do not attempt to force desire, overexpose themselves, or compromise their standards. Instead, they focus on cultivating their own life, creating moments of emotional contrast, and allowing a woman to invest in the connection. By mastering these 7 principles, you create an environment where she thinks about you constantly, feels excitement when she interacts with you, and develops anticipation for your presence. In short, making a woman obsessed is about embodying high-value traits, creating intrigue, fostering emotional engagement, and allowing space for her to invest naturally. Attraction is built on psychology, behavioral patterns, and subtle influence, not manipulation or coercion. Men who understand and apply these principles consistently become irresistible because they combine confidence, mystery, emotional depth, and independence. By integrating these 7 strategies into your dating approach, you position yourself as a man who commands attention, respect, and desire without chasing or compromising self-respect. This is the foundation for genuine obsession, meaningful attraction, and long-term connection.